All right, it's game time, yo. It's game time, yo. Mama said knock you out. My mother, Angela Legette, has been for 14 days in a hospital. My mother has been fighting for her life. And if any of y'all ever think anything I ever say coming out my mouth is fake, if any of y'all ever think that this family is going to blink or flinch or bow down, I do what I do publicly, not for me and mine. They can't touch me and mine. They ain't never been able to touch me and mine. Y'all Seventh-day Adventists better know. Allegheny East Conference, you better know that when these women give their life to God, and you men, you whores, you secret closeted whores, play around and get in bed with Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots, yo, you can't do nothing but get exposed. And the problem with the Allegheny East Conference is, nigga, we ain't never faked for none of y'all clowns. We ain't never, ever, ever tried to follow y'all. We ain't never, ever, ever. We came to the holy grounds and we gave our life to the King of Kings, and they had nothing to do with none of y'all clowns. If you thought you was in a position giving direction to my father, if you thought, nigga, he got his call from the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. If you think your corporation nigga, everything you put your faith in, Rome gave it to you. Rome is dead, nigga. Y'all all fools. My mom done came up from Florida to serve in the Allegheny East Conference. And then you're in line with the same COVID trash? Okay. All right. Okay. 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 Not near one of your last names is going to stop y'all from being exposed that you in bed with Rome. And when you get exposed that you in bed with Rome, yo, homie, you don't have no authority. Your name don't bring no weight. So then what you going to do? The only thing you can do, the only thing that the adversary in Rome is going to get y'all to do is demonstrate to the world that you're in bed with them. You have to take lives openly. You have to. You have to cross the line. The whole world is going to see that the Allegheny East Conference, the son of Angela Legette, is going to make sure that the whole world, see, I got a brother named PJ. See, what y'all clown niggas don't understand. Listen, don't none of y'all mean nothing to the God that we serve. As long as you cool with the God that I serve, you cool with me. The moment you show that you a bastard of the party, listen, my brother looked me in my eye on his deathbed, yo. I had my wife, my son, my daughter who was in my wife's womb, and my brother looked at me. Because when he saw me, I believe he saw the streets of Trenton. I think when he saw me, he saw the potential that I could go either way. Let me say that. So my brother made me go on record that the family that was sitting in front of my wife and my son, in front of my wife and my son, and my brother died after that. Y'all amateurs, y'all spiritual amateurs. Y'all spiritual amateurs. I knew that I was making it, I was doubling down on an everlasting covenant that I had already made to my wife and her father and to my mother who passed away. And my brother, stillborn the Revelator, whose son died, stillborn. I made a covenant. Listen, I done made so many covenants to the Most High God to slaughter and expose y'all niggas when we get in these very last days that we in right now. I have made so many covenants, so many everlasting life. When I see the niggas bowing down to Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots, all it's gonna be is war, Armageddon, open. And if you think you in the Allegheny conference because you sat across from the table of my father for 35 years, faking in the closet like Barry Black, if you think Rome uses a name, Catholic, and 1.5 billion people identify with a name and a tradition, a slave brand name and a tradition, and if you think that's your little Seventh-day Adventist slave brand name, if you think that we believe that that is everlasting gospel and that is what gets us into the kingdom, you a bigger fool than I always thought y'all niggas was. And if you think that you could hold a building or hold the land, if you think that you could hold position in the last days when the Holy Spirit is about to be poured out, when the plagues is about to be poured out on the very niggas, you got these people fooled. You got these people fooled like they got to be worried about flesh and blood. God said, yo, don't be concerned about those who could take your life. He said, what you better worry about is those who could take your soul. Oh, you forgot that? Allegheny Conference. One of y'all got the ability to take a soul. Do you have the ability to take a soul? No, but you had the ability to take everlasting life to individuals, and then they get everlasting gospel and save their soul. But because y'all are puppets of Pope Francis, the Antichrist, Pope Francis is on record saying nobody should evangelize those in darkness and give them truth. And so Seventh-day Adventists and all of the rest of the Christians, they all go through the motions so that people in Catholic nations, people in third world Muslim nations, people in the United States of America who are going to Catholic cathedrals in the same darkness that the Messiah killed and crushed, people going into shrines, Freemasonic shrines, Muslim shrine temples. A shrine is where you go to do divination and worship Satan. Anybody entering into a shrine? Every Muslim practices divination. Okay. Okay. Every Catholic practices divination, which is witchcraft. Okay. All right. And the Seventh-day Adventist Church is having the form of godliness. I'm talking about from the top down. This is a blanket statement. The General Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Church. Ted Wilson, Jerome Diop, the North American Division, the Columbia Union Conference, the Allegheny East Conference, the Allegheny West Conference, Lake Region Conference, South Central Conference, Southeastern Conference. I don't care what the conference is. They're all going through a charade. When I say all, the individuals who own, who control those denominations, meaning the presidents and all of that, just like the people who control the African countries, Nigeria, Ghana, the same thing happens behind closed doors, the same backroom deals, the same sodomite rituals. I'm not talking about the regular people, because just like in the third world, all of those people on the ground, Muslims, they have no clue what the niggas who run the shrine, the niggas who come into worship in the shrine, they have no clue what the individuals who own the shrine have to do to make it a demonic place of worship. You people who've been worshiping in the churches of the Allegheny East County, you know, you have no clue of what them individuals do in the Allegheny East and listen, Washington, D.C. is in the heart of the Allegheny East Conference. Washington, D.C. So let's talk about this health crisis. God said a day with God is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. I'm going to say it again. One day with God is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. So I just seen Dr. Benjamin Carson, who y'all say got gifted hands. Okay, we're going to test it. Seventh-day Adventist Dr. Benjamin Carson. Once again, I'm going to tell y'all again. Washington, D.C., the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist religion. White people can't lead. The white people's apostasy is not valid because Paul said 2,000 years ago, now there is no Hebrew or Greek. What white people do does not affect the world at all. What the bastards of the party do, no matter what their color is, now there is no more Hebrew or Greek. The Hebrews and the Greeks were judged when they said, let God's blood be on us and our children. So God said, I'm done with them. I'm only here to save the lost, those who want to go to the wedding feast. I ain't here to save sons of Abraham. I ain't here to save Europeans. I have not come. Let his blood be on us and our children. That's judgment. He said, it is over for Gentiles and Hebrews. That's two of the three of Noah's sons. So one son, he did not curse because he is the product of the woman, the womb of Ham. The very thing that Europeans, white folks, told y'all, the very thing that white folks is guilty of, and they know, when you embrace their Christianity as is, you embrace the blood that they shed. That's called the mark of the beast. How is that the mark of the beast? The same Pharisees that were trying to kill him dead, just like the rich young ruler, they was trying to justify publicly that because they was Abraham's seed, they was going to the kingdom. So they came and they asked him about commandments. Why? Because they control the Sanhedrin. They write their own commandments. He destroyed all of their commandments and he summarized them too. He said, if you violate these two things, you burning in hell. Once again, these are the lawmakers of the lawless, who are going to kill the Messiah, the King of Kings. And they're trying to prove publicly that they have authority over him. Does it sound familiar? Allegheny East Conference got faculty members talking about they got authority over my child. Allegheny East Conference done gas some faculty members at their school, Pine Forge Academy. It ain't even their school. It ain't even your school. It's called the School of the Prophets. You ain't remember when niggas forgot that Eli belonged to God and not the children of Israel? And when they ran around and they played with Eli, bears came out and ate them niggas dead. Okay. So y'all done forgot. All I'm doing is I'm gonna come and I'm gonna test your spiritual chin. All of y'all niggas. All of y'all niggas, I'm testing your chin. You don't have a school. You ain't a remnant. You ain't the remnant. You don't even know what the remnant are called. You don't even know who the remnant are. You so spiritually ignorant that you in the battle for your life and you don't even know you dead already. You don't even know. You so spiritually dead, all y'all niggas, that y'all running around here talking about and trying to sit in the place of judgment on children who are spiritually superior than all of y'all niggas. You ain't got a dean in your dorm that can clip my daughter's toenails. You ain't got a dean in Kimbrough Hall that can paint my daughter's fingernails. You do not have a grown woman in Kimbrough Hall that you're paying to be dean that can even walk in my daughter, Destiny Legette's shadow. Because she was raised by Angela Legette and Beverly Legette and Aura Legette and Kanisha Legette and Terry Legette and Tamara Bodie and Keisha Bodie and Paul Bodie. You don't have a faculty member at Pine Forge Academy because they don't even know what Pine Forge Academy is. And y'all so dumbfounded and lost and stupid that y'all think y'all can hire anybody from the streets and put them in the School of the Prophets and it works. That's how dumb y'all are. Yo, for real? What other school do you know that supernaturally polar bears? It's no polar bears in Jerusalem. Oh yeah. Y'all been playing around with a Roman Catholic ritual in Seventh-day Adventists so long. See, the Roman Catholics, they never knew the word of God. They just go through a religious ritual, and they done got y'all in the middle of individuals who have devoured word of God all their life. Y'all niggas don't even have worship, morning worship in the boys' dorm or the girls' dorm. Let's talk about it. Y'all are practicing Roman Catholicism at Pine Forge Academy. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That's a death sentence because I done sent my child up there. And when you violated my wife's covenant with God in the presence of her daughter, you have made an attack on the kingdom. God said that's a death sentence. For anyone who deceives one of the little ones who believes in me. Let's go back to the health. God said, I gave my people the antidote to every disease on earth. Let's go back to the word of God to show you that you guys are following people that are antichrist. Talking about you God's children. God said, I have given my children who follow me and keep my commandments the antidote to all diseases on earth. If you're a follower of God, there is no middle ground. You can't follow the World Health Organization. You can't follow the Center for Disease Control. It's either you're going to follow God and be, listen, he told them this when he was taking them out of Egyptian bondage. You have no healing medicines. Why did he tell them that? Because they were practicing the same science that you're practicing now. It's called alchemy. They were practicing the Egyptian black magical sciences. Y'all love geometry, right? That's a black magical art of alchemy, mathematics of alchemy. We have our own separate language. It's called phonics. The Phoenicians are the children of the firstborn son of Noah that God said, I will expand your territory, not the Hebrews' territory, Japheth. Genesis chapter 10. Because you're spiritually ignorant and it's your fault because you got access to the same word that they used to deceive you. You got access to it. But we don't care if you deceived, if you were elder, if you were bet. We don't care. We put our time in and you're in violation. And then y'all niggas sit in judgment of our children when your whole life is a lie. Listen up, faculty members of Pine Forge Academy, because I'm coming. Listen up, Allegheny East Conference. Every last one of y'all that done cut a backroom deal, you're going to have to put it on Front Street. Every last one of y'all that's in bed with DC, like Dr. Benjamin Carson. God said, I gave all of the children who follow my commandments, who want to be free from the diseases of Egypt. So you're under the pestilence of Egypt. And you're compounding the pestilence by going to the Egyptian Black Magical Arts World Health Organization. Dr. Benjamin Carson works for who? The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. Who created the medical system of Johns Hopkins University? Johns Hopkins University is named after a witch, a warlock for Queen Elizabeth I, John Dee. John Hopkins. John Dee was a magician in the courts of Queen England, of Queen Elizabeth I and King James, who wrote the Bible. John Dee. John Dee Hopkins University. Dr. Benjamin Carson is a warlock, a Seventh-day Adventist warlock, practicing the same medicines that John Dee. The British have a whole medical library about his magic, his Satan. This is where Walt Disney and them come from. This is where Walt Disney's magic comes from. The British, Queen Elizabeth, King James, the King James Bible, the Church of England is witchcraft. It is the second resurrection of the deadly womb of the Roman Catholic Church. Okay. All right. Let's go, Washington, D.C. And the British, because what Paul said, there is no more Greek or Hebrew. The British have to have the children of Ham that the colonizers came and said were cursed. They know that they told a lie. So they know unless the children of Ham bow down with them, the curse that Paul put on them, the curses that Jesus put on them, the curses that Peter, all of the rebukes will stand and they will receive the plagues that are mapped out in Revelation. And everybody who gets deceived by them will receive the plagues that the British and the Germans and all of them and the niggas in Jerusalem and apparently Barry Black, Dr. Benjamin Carson, and apparently leaders in the Allegheny East Conference. And we not sparing none of y'all. Joseph Cheatham is in violation. Joseph Cheatham has made an attack and a threat on my mother, life, by implementing the pestilence agenda given to him by black magical alchemists practicing the black Egyptian arts dedicated to Osiris, Isis, and Horus, the gods of Egypt. Joseph Cheatham, you are in violation. And if my mother perishes, when my mother pulls through, we already got one ministry. We already got one ministry for when she pulls through. But at any point between now and when the Messiah comes again, the attempt on her life now, reparations for the Allegheny East Conference. My mother came from Florida up there to serve in the Allegheny East Conference. And Joseph Cheatham. So Elder Cheatham. Y'all call Elder Cheatham Chief. That's what we call Elder Cheatham. Joseph Cheatham's grandfather. You got a choice to make, sir. You can't have my father and mother serve at the Walnut Street Seventh-day Adventist Church in Pottstown. You cannot have my mother and father serve at the Walnut Street Church as pastor and you sit as elder. You cannot have my father and mother serve underneath you and serve two masters. You got to choose between your grandson and my parents. You, sir, who has one of the most beautiful wives. You, sir, you have a choice to make. Chief Elder Cheatham, who I've sat with over and over and over again. And just like my father and mother, I pledged my life and my family's life. But the moment you try and serve two masters, you try and straddle the fence, don't worry. We follow the word of God to the T. There's an intervention and rehabilitation program. The rich young ruler, you and the beautiful wife that you married to, you can intervene for your grandson who thought it was cool to unify himself with the whore, Mystery Babylon, under the United States service. You can't be in the U.S. Armed Services and in the service of Michael and his angels. That is a idolatry violation. And if you don't know the difference, sir, it's time for you to learn it. Because your grandson's life is on the line, spiritually and physically. And you can intervene and save him. But he got to give up all. And he got to get the hell out the way. And everybody, just like him, in the Allegheny East Conference, in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, in the whole world. I don't care if they're in the Vatican. I don't care where they are. There's only one process to save their life. What must I do to be saved? Give up all and get at the bottom of the back of the line. You have no name. You have no more name. You have no more credibility. You have no more public appearance. You have no more social media presence. You have no voice. All you could do is sackcloth and ashes. When the rich young ruler asked the question, the Most High God said, saved for the blood that's on your hands, sackcloth and ashes at the back of the line. And because he was so used to getting his ego stroked, Joseph Cheatham, the only place niggas stroked your ego was in the military. Nigga, you ain't get your ego struck. The only place these cats get their ego stroked the only place where Joseph Cheatham got his ego stroked is in the U.S. military. Joseph Cheatham wasn't no leader at Pine Forge Academy. I don't know how y'all think Joseph Cheatham is going to lead us into accepting something that the word of God tells us, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. Huh? God said all the husbands who claim that they followers of God, all they got to do is make the women and the children that God gave to you hearts merry. For real? For real? They said that you have to. They said, yeah, of course they did. Because just like the children of Israel in Goshen, your connection to God means death to the world. Judgment. What they're simply saying to you is, throw away your covenant and be judged too. Judgment is coming, and we want you to be in violation and lawless by following us and not following God. That's what they're saying to you. They did the same thing in 9/11. Why? Because before you got here, they needed to be able to control and monitor your movements around the country. They needed to be you to give them permission to spy on you, to listen to your conversations. And so they created an artificial attack on the US. And out of fear, you allowed them to spy on you, read your emails, which hadn't even been created yet, tap your cell phones. The Patriot Act. They created the Patriot Act before y'all niggas was even on the internet. They've been spying on y'all. Y'all gave them permission to spy on you, to watch you, to control you, to put toll roads up, to tax you out of your vehicle so that you can't move around the country. Do you know all over the country, they got a group called ICLEI. Let's talk about it. ICLEI. Back in the 90s, President Bush and the bastard that just died from Great Britain, Prince Phillips, signed an agreement called Agenda 21. Let's go, y'all. Let's go, y'all. How do you call an all-out war a conspiracy? When God told you, yo, the lawless would impersonate the angel of light, and then they would assemble themselves for the great battle. They went to World War I, World War II, Civil War, Revolutionary War. He said the whole world will come together, impersonating God, and they will gather for the great battle of Armageddon. How do you even entertain a concept? How do you even entertain any concept but that individuals are committing capital murder, divine capital murder against you? How do you entertain any other thing? Yes, Dr. Fauci has authorized divine murder in the first degree, crimes against divinity. Donald Trump has authorized and sanctioned crime against divinity, capital murder, divine murder in the first degree. Joe Biden, divine murder in the first degree. Everybody pushing this agenda. Every hospital, everybody. And God said, woe to those who see these little ones who believe in me. All of you parents to go impersonating angels of light, and he said the greatest deception, Matthew 24. If you want to know what book of the Bible you in, Matthew 24. Now they talking about building a third temple. Building the third temple is the most satanic statement. So God destroyed Solomon's temple. God destroyed Solomon's temple because Solomon's temple is out and out Babylonian idolatry. That's what Solomon's temple is. So God destroyed it, and he tore the temple veil, and he moved his children to the final sanctuary where women and the woman's covenant is going to get the people of earth to heaven. That's why he said the wedding feast is there's 5 wise virgins and 5 foolish virgins. Women who are faithful to the covenant Men cannot get you. There is no male priesthood. There is no more Hebrew and Greek. So men being the head and leading you spiritually, the destruction of Solomon's temple was destroying the deception of a male priesthood. Men cannot usher you to God. Only men can do is, husbands, love your wives as I have loved the church. Groom. All you can do is be a bridegroom, and then your wife, who is the virtuous woman, Proverbs 31, only the wife that is the virtuous woman in the covenant of God. And the worship, the place of worship is called the tent of meeting. That is the ultimate sanctuary that Eve had in the beginning, that Zipporah had when Aaron built. They wasn't even going to get the sanctuary that y'all know about. All he was going to give them was Zipporah's tent of meeting. Why? Because Moses came through the desert and met Zipporah, his wife, and they got married. And God said, bring the children of Israel back here, because they are I'm going to graft them into what you came through here and found. They would have had one sanctuary. It's called the tent of meeting. When Aaron built the golden calf, he put the men of Israel separate from Zipporah's Levitical priesthood. Aaron's Levitical priesthood is the priesthood of men that got nailed to the cross. Zipporah's priesthood, David resurrected it when Saul destroyed it. And when David married Bathsheba, he brought the tent of meeting and the Ark of the Covenant and his wife Bathsheba, and he reconsecrated that sanctuary, and that's the sanctuary that God filled with his Holy Ghost. The kings after him went right back into that other portion of the sanctuary. So when God came as Michael Emmanuel, the son of Mary and Joseph, he destroyed the male priesthood and Levitical leadership and left and poured out the Holy Ghost in the tent of meeting called the upper room. Come on, let's go. Where y'all at? When he died on Calvary, he said the temple will be destroyed, and he destroyed it in 70 AD. So that temple is always gone. Men leading the family to God is satanic. Men having a priesthood that can get you to heaven was dead when Israel and Rome and Greece violated for the last and final time. He destroyed their temple, and he anointed Zipporah's temple, Eve's sanctuary, that has been around for everlasting, because after Eve was blessed and called the mother of the living, Eve and her daughters have been faithful to God ever since the beginning. Nobody tells it to you, and everybody's wrong. This is who Angela Legette is. This is who Kanisha Legette is. This is who Destiny Legette is. So you think I'm going to let y'all niggas that don't know how to be husbands to your wives, you think y'all women that ain't never had a man in your life, the women of Kimbrough Hall, the deans of Kimbrough Hall, where the husbands in their lives at? They ain't even crossed the hurdle, one, to be able to talk to my wife's children. Where your husband at, yo? How you hiring Allegheny East Conference? How you hiring women? Yo, when my mom left my dad, y'all gave my dad hell. Come on, let's talk about it, yo. Y'all not gonna abuse me and my sister for 35 years. Y'all not gonna do one thing, and then when my children come, y'all gonna prostitute yourselves, and then y'all gonna let the whores that y'all prostituting with come. Listen, you abused my father because he was a single male back on the market. It wasn't his fault his wife left him, because he wear Kangos, because he from Trenton and you not, because he wear Gazelles Like Run DMC wore gazelles. Huh? You gave my Allegheny East Conference Van Putton, President Van Putton. Let's go, yo. Let's go. You playing with the wrong family, yo. You playing with the wrong, and I done ate it for 35 years. I done let y'all live, and y'all niggas ain't smart enough. I done let y'all niggas live, yo. Y'all niggas been in violation from day one. You violated my first mom, Beverly Webb. You violated my first mom because y'all niggas don't know nothing about the priesthood. And then you think you gonna violate my second mom? Okay. And all of you Seventh-day Adventist pastors out there, the reason that y'all don't know the violation is because y'all not connected to the highways and the byways. See, Paul said, I am all things to all people. Y'all niggas don't know nothing about our people. That's why you were in bed with the whore. Paul said, I'm all things to all people. Frank E. Legette ain't never lost his connection to the streets, and I won't let him lose his connection to the streets. Nigga, we there to save y'all niggas. Nigga, the streets is going to the kingdom. It's y'all Seventh-day Adventists who gonna bust hell wide open. We've been there trying to get y'all to reconnect with the streets and reserve the people so that you could go to the kingdom. But since y'all don't want to go it, y'all got to get the hell out of the promised land. Y'all got to go, and we're gonna bring all our people through the streets, and we're gonna get in what y'all ain't been giving our people for the whole world to see while we cast y'all out. We clean the house, yo. Angela Legette, you will get your ministry down in Florida. Better yet, you're gonna get a ministry around the world. Listen, you ain't supposed to have to pick and choose. Why the hell? If the Seventh-day Adventist Conference, if the Seventh-day Adventist Church was doing the everlasting gospel, why, if my mom wanted to have a ministry down in the place where she came from, if they was truly spreading gospel, why wouldn't there be a wide open door for them to minister in the Allegheny East and in Florida and in California and Chicago? It is. The blueprint is called ET. The blueprint is called Ronnie Vanderhorst. It's all of y'all Roman Catholic Seventh-day Adventists who go through an empty ritual that don't even understand that these niggas been playing y'all all these years. All of y'all robotic. Will Smith made a movie for y'all Seventh-day Adventists, I, Robot. All of y'all RCC, I, Robot Seventh-day Adventists. And you know what? You got your children up there at Pine Forge Academy. And if it wasn't for us being on the watch, nigga, they would prostitute all of y'all children. If we wasn't on the watch, that's why we send our children. I'm saying we, because it's a group of us who still sent our children to Pine Forge Academy because that's our school, that's not their school. Because when we walk into that gym, we always are victorious. This just another competition to us. We the Falcons, y'all the Hill School. Y'all the strangers in our gates. We don't care nothing about having to defeat y'all generation after generation. Every 4 years we got to defeat these niggas. We don't care nothing about that. We do not care nothing about. Listen, man, it's a group of us. I'm not speaking for myself, and I never say names, so y'all won't ever know. Y'all will never ever know. Y'all will never ever know where the final death blow is going to come from. Y'all will never know which parent all I got to do is keep exposing. All I got to do is keep exposing. And now you in the generation of all my sons and daughters. Now the people sending their children to Pine Forge. Listen, can't no alumnus coming out to 93. Can't no alumnus coming out to 93 that send their children up there. Listen. The family group structure is everlasting. The United Student Movement is everlasting. And once Damon and Kenesha Legette, once Carrie Lynn Legette, once Cynthia Mason, Sandra Red, Henry Mason, Ethel Mason, Reggie Legette, Richard Mason Jr. Yeah, You thought I was by myself? Tamara Bodie. And then each one of them got family groups in classes going back to the beginning of the school. Each one of those individuals who are my dad's brothers and sisters, I just named to you my father's brothers and sisters who all went to Pine Forge Academy. Oh, I'm sorry. Nancy. Man, what was Aunt Doris' married name? Watching what y'all doing to their great niece. Nigga, if a dean in Kimbrough Hall, you not authorized to give no punishment. Right down the street is Marietta Leonard. Marietta Leonard. Right down the street. Mary Mason and Henrietta Mason from Mount Sinai Seventh-day Adventist Church in Trick, New Jersey. If you going to deal with Destiny Legette, reach out to Marietta Leonard. Reach out to Diane Darby. Reach out to Lillian Norwood. Leslie Norwood. Mrs. Norwood, who's right there. Ernie Norwood, who's right up the street. If you want to speak to my child, I don't even want you speaking to my child. If you think something going wrong, if you think you got a problem, you better call one of them names. They all around there. Doc Fielder, Miss Fielder. You know Dean Thomas? Do you know Dean Thomas, who is over Pine Forge Alumni Association? His sister raised me at Mount Sinai. She's right there in Baltimore. You want to speak to Destiny? If you don't have a woman that's equal to the character of my wife, then you need to call Danny Beck and Daphne Beck, who's right down the street. Danny Beck ain't there all day. So when you got a problem with Destiny, call Danny. Danny will handle it. Don't even speak to my child. Principal Reynolds, don't even speak to my child. Go talk to Doc Fielder. Doc Fielder, talk to my child. Principal Reynolds, never ever speak to my child ever again. If you want to talk to Destiny, go talk to her father, who raised her, Doc Fielder. Because Doc Fielder raised Kenesha Legette, and Destiny is Kenesha. So if you got a problem with Destiny, you got a problem with Kenesha. Anybody that got a problem with Destiny, you got a problem with Kenesha. And you got a problem with Doc Fielder and Miss Fielder. If you think Destiny is a horrible child, take it up with her father, Doc Fielder. He raised her. And I promise you, my daughter is way better than the women watching her. And you better believe that we gonna hold court. You better believe when you come at my child, you come at my wife. And I'm coming back. When you come at my child, you come at Miss Fielder. You ignoramuses. When you come at my child, you come at my mother, Angela Legette. When you come for my child, you come directly at my father, Frank E. Legette. And can't none of y'all niggas hold a candle to the parenting of the amount of niggas that my father has raised and sent through Pine Forge Academy. Don't none of y'all clowns. There has never been a recruiter in Pine Forge history that has gone harder than Frank Legette at the churches that he has pastored for the 35 years. Can't none of y'all niggas count. Nowhere near. So if you got a problem, the problem is y'all. And you're going to get out the way because my mom's ministry is going to be launched from Pine Forge Academy. Destiny Legette. Every phase of this ministry that you're about to see rolled out here today, Destiny Legette, Xavier Legette, Deja Legette, Damon Legette have worked with Edward Martin, class of 93. Have worked with Andre McDonald all over the world, class of 94. Have worked with my brother out of Baltimore. I ain't gonna say his name. I'm not gonna say his name because once again, I don't want you to know where the threat is coming from. But my brother down in Baltimore, in our same class, my wife and I put our lifelong ministry. And we're going to give our brother down in Baltimore the opportunity to do in Baltimore and Philadelphia what they can't figure out nowhere else in the country. They got a movement called Cure Violence. Cure Violence. Chicago, Philly, Baltimore. We got a brother from our class that been in the Cure Violence movement since he left Pine Forge. And the very children that we send to Pine Forge Academy, I sent all 3 of my children. And Pine Forge Academy rejected all 3 of my children. That's because Pine Forge Academy ain't the institution that we went to. And the Messiah said, when he came back to the very people who belong to him, he said, they reject me and they gonna reject you because they don't know me. The only reason you reject Kenesha's children, Xavier, Deja, and Destiny, and little Damon's coming. It's because y'all have not stuck to the script and we here to expose it. My wife deserves. My wife left the streets just like my mom left the streets to come get a covenant with God. She left the Catholic Church. Y'all bringing the Catholic. My wife left the Catholic Church. Craig Morgan left the Catholic Church to come to Pine Forge and get an upgrade. And y'all have brought the Catholic Church back and y'all have brought Pine Forge on a downgrade to give them back to the beast? Okay. Craig Morgan mama, Catherine Morgan, who is dead. She deserves her sacrifice. She deserves that her children and grandchildren will finish the race higher than the Roman Catholic whore that's here to call the whole world to bow down. And the Allegheny Conference, the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, they bowing down and bowing over, and every face that's leading the bow is a black person from the Allegheny East Conference, even your attorney, Jackson Doggett. He on record. We got him on record. And he had the nerve to get on a telecast with my pop. Nigga, you ain't welcome, nigga. He had a nerve to get on a telecast and try and talk about the election. Hey, listen. If I hadn't known now, what I knew then, I'd have aired you out publicly then. If I knew then what I know now, I would have aired you out, have shut the program down over the election, and I'd have aired you out. But it's coming. It's coming. You made the mistake of saying you got the authority to do something, and I'm gonna make you prove it publicly. The Allegheny East Conference, now all of y'all who put Jackson Doggett up, either y'all gonna have to make him a fall guy, and y'all gonna try and act like y'all wolves in sheep's clothing, and y'all gonna blend back in. And listen. This is the great shaking, yo. Every last one of y'all is gonna be exposed. Every last one of y'all will be exposed. Now it's just Jackson Doggett and Joseph Cheatham's. All of y'all niggas that put these niggas up, it's a council behind these niggas. They just the face. But just like the assassins that killed Dr. Martin Luther King, just like the assassins, y'all little cowardly oaths that y'all take is built around fall guys that y'all throw away. Because the end justifies the means. They know that if they get exposed, y'all will throw them to the wolves, and y'all will stand back and let them take the fall, because the end justifies the means. Order out of chaos. So that the chaos can continue, y'all gonna act like y'all still got the form of godliness. Listen, we know your whole playbook. Y'all are the lamest. All you could do is like the rich young ruler, and instead of walking away, all you could do is walk away and accept the invitation to be nothing, to be silent from here on out. At least you get to the kingdom. In your little backroom deals, in your hidden secret, hidden hand, little brotherhood, all you getting is death, homie. There is no scenario where you win. There's no scenario where you still maintain the school of the prophets. There's no scenario where you stay in the United States of America. There's no scenario. There is zero scenario. You end the rest of your days in the bottomless pit with the 7 plagues of Egypt. That's all you are headed for. And if you want to avoid that outcome, all you can do is accept this invitation to be nothing from here on out, to be silent, sackcloth and ashes. And when the King of Kings come, we're going to vouch for you. Yeah, he was a prostitute. Yeah, she was a whore. But they accepted the intervention and rehabilitation program. So God, go ahead and give them a new name. Give them the transfiguration. They put on the sackcloth and ashes. They stood still. Stand still and see the deliverance. They stood still. They shut up their mouth. No more being known as no evangelist. You evangelized and spoke lying lip abomination. You don't get to evangelize no more. You got to sit down. You evangelize for the whore. You evangelize for Pope Francis. You don't get to evangelize no more. You deceive little ones and led them astray. You don't get to preach no more. You don't get to have a seat in the Sanhedrin no more. The Sanhedrin is dead. We burning it to the ground. What must I do to be saved? Give up all. That's what whores have to do. Why has it come to this? Because we have true people who gave their lives, and y'all played with my mother and my father's ministry. This is why David was allowed to kill Goliath and the Philistines. Because David's mama taught David to worship God and trained David to love God with all his heart. David's mama. And then Saul disrespected the women of Israel who were still in covenant with God like Zipporah was. So Saul was a dead man The moment he was anointed king and he started serving the gods of the Philistines, he was a dead man. And because you cannot dishonor those who are honoring God. And then when you shed the blood, God said, I will require an accounting for every drop of blood on earth, on earth. That's why David was allowed to be a warrior, because he came from a virtuous woman. And when the virtuous woman was dishonored, the virtuous seed of the virtuous women gets to sit in judgment. The men of Nineveh will judge this final generation. The queen of Sheba will judge this final generation. There are men and women, myself and my wife, who get to judge and reap reparations for y'all disrespecting the service and dishonoring my mother, both of my mothers. But now I'm talking about Angela Legette. And I'm talking directly to the Allegheny East Conference because she came up there to serve there. Taught in your schools at Camden, Mount Olivet. You don't get to take service and give Mystery Babylon the mother of harlots. There's a price for it on earth and in heaven. There is a physical and a financial and a spiritual and a hellfire price to pay. And the only way you could not pay full is if you take the invitation of the rich young ruler, intervention and rehabilitation. Intervention means everything that you got, earthly, financial. This is what all the disciples had to do because they was in the same position. Paul, Peter, that's why they wasn't able to see no wealth on earth, because they was in the same whoredom before Christ came that all of Jerusalem. The only difference is they paid the price and they even was willing to give up their life. That's how much of how perverted spiritually and physically they all were. That's how much of an upgrade. That's how much of a transfiguration. And that's exactly the price that's due in Adventism. We're not going nowhere else right now. We just focusing on Adventism. Home. So I'm about to go in here and I'm about to show y'all what Destiny Legette is going to do for Angela Legette and Frank Legette from Pine Forge Academy all this year. And y'all ain't gonna say not a god dang on thing about no bubble or no protocol. I wish y'all would speak to my child. She gonna move how she wanna move. I'm gonna move how I wanna move. They gonna move. And I dare listen, every last one of y'all that come forward, I'm going to expose the fact that you are pushing the Egyptian, Babylonian mystery religions. You are pushing idolatry. The science of Egypt is alchemy. Seventh-day Adventists. People, listen to me. When they say the science is clear, they're giving you a black magical science of the witch of Endor or the witch of Dagon or the witch of the Philistines. It is a practice. It is a science. It is the science of the Dark Ages. It is the science of the Catholic Church. It is the science of the Society of Jesus. It is the science of the Jesuits, who Pope Francis is, who Barack Obama appointed, who Barack Obama gave permission, who gave the purse strings to the United States of America in 2015. Do you know that Pope Francis moved the Speaker of the House, John Boehner, and put in a new Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan? Paul Ryan was over the budget of the United States of America. Pope Francis came and financially began the destruction of the U.S. economy in 2015. Barack Obama, they have been warring against you They did a simulation on unleashing the pestilence against you in 2019 at John D. Hopkins University, which is the magic capital, the black magic capital of England in the United States of America. The black magical hospital and capital. And do you know that the Seventh-day Adventist Church, John D. Kellogg, gave John D. Hopkins the blueprint to teach Europeans and white Seventh-day Adventists how to live long lives like Loma Linda. And then they taught John D. There was no medical system in the United States of America prior to the Seventh-day Adventist medical system. There was no hospitals. The Seventh-day Adventist was given revelation that John D. Kellogg left a Millerite movement and came and followed those who were getting visions from God. And then they saw that they had a model for a health sanitarium. This did not exist in the United States of America. They had no hospitals before the Seventh-day Adventist Church stole a health sanitarium and then gave the people poison medicine. They didn't even give the world hospitals with the health sanitarium blueprint. They gave you hospitals with chemical poison and medicine. They gave you pharmakeia. That is the Egyptian mystery religion of alchemy. And because nobody has exposed the Seventh-day Adventist Church for stealing and robbing from the people of God the health message in the 1800s, ain't no Dr. CB, ain't no, listen, the only individuals, John Kellogg, along with the black sellout, George Washington Carver. John Kellogg, George Washington Carver, John D. Rockefeller, Henry Ford, all at the sanitarium in Battle Creek. John Kellogg, George Washington Carver, black sellout. Will Barack Hussein Obama implement poison and death? They're pirates. What's the pirates flag? What is the pirates from Great Britain? Remember, Walt Disney has a movie. The most famous movie probably in Walt Disney history is what? Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Huh? Pirates of the Caribbean. What's their flag on the sign of poison? Where did they get the sign of poison from? The crucifixion of Christ. The hill. Capitol Hill. They celebrate that they killed the Messiah. Capitol Hill. Capital Punishment Hill. Capital Punishment of the Messiah Hill. Antichrist Capital Punishment Hill. Washington, D.C. is the celebration of Antichrist. Washington, D.C. has always been the celebration of the Antichrist. Washington, D.C., U.S. has always been the celebration of the Antichrist from the very beginning. 1871, Washington, D.C. was founded. And very shortly after, because now they had a medical system, the Seventh-day Adventist Church moved from Battle Creek, Michigan, and moved to D.C. John D. Hopkins University. Huh? That's where Benjamin Carson practices his magic from, in the Allegheny East Conference. There has never been a time where the Seventh-day Adventist Church hasn't celebrated. Understand, individuals who got shaken in 1844 because they was claiming that they knew God, but they were Europeans from England, just like the rest of the bastards who was doing slavery by the Bible. They was claiming that they knew Bible prophecy. They used the Bible to get into the country. They used the Bible to come over here. They used the Bible to do colonialism. They used the Bible. So God revealed his prophecies to a whole nother group, not the Millerites. The Millerites were using the Bible just like every other Christian, white, slave owning, raper, murderer. God revealed the visions to William Floyd. They already had a Millerite movement that God embarrassed in 1844. God embarrassed them so that you wouldn't follow them niggas and let them niggas tell you that they the remnant. And then they left. When they got exposed, they left and they came and they found William Floyd, and then they went and incorporated and changed their name. We can't say Millerite movement because they know we got exposed. So then they claim all of the vision that God gave to William Floyd. What Ben Baker don't tell you, they got a historian for the Adventists. What Ben Baker don't tell you is all our life when they was kids, they told us William Floyd never. He rejected the call. So because we got the internet, Ben Baker, Delbert Baker's father, president of Oakwood University, he writes a book and takes credit for, yo, I'm the one that, nigga, y'all was the ones who told the lie in the first place. They always knew that William Floyd. They always knew that William Floyd was the one who had the gospel. But before the internet, the Adventists took the credit. The Adventists stole a message that they had nothing to do with. And Delbert Baker and Ben Baker sold y'all that thievery. Delbert Baker, president of Oakwood University, is another satanic harlot, warlock, just like Ben Baker. I mean, just like Barry Black, coming for all y'all clowns. There's nowhere to hide, yo. Y'all have played around my father. Y'all have let my father make a sacrifice. Y'all have made a mockery of the sacrifice of my father, my sisters. Listen, my mom lost her life because y'all was playing and she was all in. And now my other mom is fighting for her life in a pestilence that y'all have helped to manufacture. All of y'all niggas gotta pay. All of y'all got to pay. And this is off the top of the dome. If I go and I show y'all the videos, listen, if I go and show y'all the video, I could go step by step with every single video. And the reason I don't show it to y'all is because I should have to show it to you. I'm giving it to my children. I'm giving it to the young people of this generation. We don't put it online because online is controlled by them and their Patriot Act. If you online, you a slave. All of these videos that I do, ain't none of it monetized. Why? Because if they pay you, you a slave. That's why y'all taking the pestilence, because they still pay you. When God said, tell my people, tell Pharaoh to let my people go so that they can worship me. And he defined worship by come exchange with me gold tried in the fire. God has already given you 1 talent, 2 talents, or 5 talents of gold. And he just said, come and exchange with me annually, back and forth, bypass all middlemen, and you will have abundant life. So that's what my daughter Destiny is going to get a world from Pine Forge. That's what my son Xavier is going to give the world from Oakwood. My daughter Deja is going to do the same thing all around the world. So on the odd years, my daughter Deja and my son Damon are in international waters. And my son Xavier and Destiny are the home team. On the even years, next year, my daughter Deja and my son Damon will be the home team. And my son Xavier and Destiny, they'll be in the worldwide, the beautiful worldwide web waters of life. And from the 2 spots that I just named, we dare any of y'all to say anything other than what I just said. We dare any of y'all to come and try and put any other flag down. Roman Catholic flag, D.C. We dare anybody. There's a flag flying high from the castle of my heart, from the castle of my heart, from the castle of my heart. There is a flag flying high from the castle of my heart, and the king is a resident there. So let it fly from the sky. Let the whole world know. Let the whole world know. Let the whole world know. So let it fly from the sky. Let the whole world know that the king is a resident there. You know how many kids Angela Legette has taught that song? You know how many kids Beverly Legette has taught that song? There is a flag flying high from the castle of my heart, from the castle of my heart, from the castle of my heart. There is a flag flying high from the castle of my heart, and the king is in residence there. So let it fly from the sky, let the whole world know. Let who know? Let the whole world know. Let the whole world know. So let it fly from the sky, let the whole world know that the king, not the Seventh-day Adventist Church, that the king, not Principal Reynolds, that the king, not Joe Biden, that the king is not Queen Elizabeth, that the king, not Pope Francis, that the king, not Jay-Z, that you can't find nobody that can get on this list. You can't find nobody that can put a flag down. You can't find nobody in the world that could have put a flag down when my wife done put her flag down. And I dare any of y'all to come and test me. I dare any of y'all to come and test it, yo. Come get it, homie. Where y'all at? Where y'all tough guys at? Or y'all in the cold? Y'all doing y'all seances? Y'all trying to get y'all spirit? Yo, listen. Peter, I know. Paul, I know. Who are you? When you go talk to Satan, when y'all go and do your seances, all Satan is gonna say, yo, Dr. Life, I know. Kanisha, I know. Damon Legette, I know. Xavier Legette, Deja Legette, they've been covered. Play with them if you want to. All you gonna get when you go and you do your voodoo and your whatever it is y'all do, your Santeria. All you gonna do when you communicate with your ancestors gonna be like, yo, you got the wrong one, nigga. I wasn't talking about them. You're not dealing with Jay-Z and them niggas. This ain't Busta Rhymes, nigga. This ain't LL Cool J. In the closet, I'm flaming RuPaul, but out here I'm playing a man. This ain't Will Smith. We ain't never played with y'all a day in our life, nigga. But you done played with our mothers. You done played with our sisters. Now it's time for an accounting. Don't get scared now, yo. All y'all tough guys. When it's time to pay up, don't go running. Don't forfeit now. No, it's time to play, yo. It's time to hit. Let's put these pads on. Let's put these gloves on. So my sons and daughters could see what real manhood is. Come on, let's go, yo. Let's go. Don't be no coward now. Don't be no coward now. Yo, y'all been talking tough. Y'all been shedding blood. Y'all been sacrificing niggas in secret. Let's go. Bring y'all shine. Y'all tough little shiners. Y'all tough little Freemasonic blood oath. Blood. Come on out here, y'all. Let's go. Every day that my mom done struggled for breath. A day with God is like 1,000 years. You getting 1,000 years worth of judgment. And every day my mom been in the hospital, you getting 1,000 years. For every day. For every day she been in the hospital. A day with God is as 1,000 years. Every day that she spent struggling from an artificial manufacturer, yo, you gonna pay. And that's Allegheny East Conference, Joe Cheatham. Let my mom close my eyes, and you the face of the agenda, pushing a man-made pest at Palm Forge Academy where my mom served. Joseph Cheatham. Let my mom close her eyes. Let my mom close her eyes. Principal Reynolds. I know what IHS means. I know what in his service means. I know that you're in the service of Satan. I know that you are a closeted Jesuit. The whole world might not know, but I know you serve the interests of Pope. I know you're a plant. I know you're a Judas. inside the 12. Principal Reynolds is a Judas, y'all. He is Jesuit trained, and it's right there on his signature pages of his letter. In his service, Isis Horus Set. He is practicing the alchemy and the black magic. Father, Frank E. Legette. Frank E. Legette. If your wife, Angela Legette, passes away, Principal Reynolds has been practicing the black magic called alchemy, which this virus, God said, I will put none of the diseases of the Egyptians on you. The Egyptians man-made, manufactured pestilence and disease a part of their worship to Isis, Horus, and Set. If you go look at a dude by the name of Aleister Crowley, a British noble, Aleister Crowley, they are practicing the worship of Aleister Crowley in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and they have brought a Crowleyite to Pine Forge Academy as the headmaster, and y'all don't even know. Aleister Crowley, the Book of Thelema, same time that Adolf Hitler went to war in World War II, Aleister Crowley was at the height of their priesthood. Y'all are so sleep. He said, even the very elect will be deceived. Y'all are so sleep that they was able to bring a priest of Aleister Crowley and hire a priest of Aleister Crowley and put him as the principal of Pine Forge Academy. That's why the Most High God allowed me and my father and my family to lead the streets of Trenton and join the Seventh-day Adventist Church to save y'all from yourself. So either you can accept this life preserver, because Reynolds, them deans, and everybody, the maternal, all of them, y'all could have a whole board that's down with this BS. It don't matter how many of y'all, you got two options. Rich young ruler, which means everything you got, every financial dime you got, every position of authority you got in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, on the world stage, on the NAD, I don't care what it is. I don't care what your profession is. Every dime that you have made while being affiliated is called being an accomplice. These are called the damages. It's called reparations. You have to pay reparations when you're in violation. You are in total violation. The only way, there are very specific stipulations for how we will deal with you from here to the rest of when Christ crashed the sky. The other Christ crashed the sky again. The other option, you're getting out of our sphere of our homeland. And you can go and you can gather and prepare to try and take by force. But as we go to get all of our people, we bind up everything that y'all doing. We bind up what you are trying to do in my mother's lungs. We bind up the pestilence. We bind it up and we throw it in the flames. We bind up your agendas. We bind up your states. We bind up. We divinely bind up. Every stronghold you built up, we destroy it right now divinely. We bind it up and we throw it in the flames, and we throw you out in preparation for the flames that you're going to receive. All of you. And in this period, in this halftime period, where we focus on going and saving all of those who are being choked out, like my mom is being choked out. If you being choked out by these weeds, all you got to do is let us know you want to be rescued. And for the next 4 years, we're going to rehabilitate everybody who wants to come out of Babylon. Any and everybody who's been deceived by these religions, by these, if you being choked out, let this last attack on your life scare you straight, not scare you into the arms of the beast. And if you come home, I promise you, we're gonna lay you up like treasure on the sea of glass and sing a song that no man can sing, right with my wife and children and the rest of our family members and loved ones, that we sealing and laying up. This is the seal of God. This is the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. This is the latter rain prior to the great shaking, the time of trouble, and the final judgment. And the Seventh-day Adventists ain't never been the remnant. It ain't never been the truth. They tried to get it as close as physically possible while impersonating angels of light. And now they're being exposed for what they are. So, any of y'all that left because you knew it was garbage, you're not supposed to go down. You're not supposed to go backwards. The only place you could go is up Jacob's ladder. I will feed you with the heritage of Jacob our father. You can't go back into no other philosophy. The same Egyptian idolatry created all the philosophies of the world. So when you leave Adventism and you go into the Hebrew Israelites, you just going further down. When you leave Adventism and you go to Islam, you're just going further down into the same Egyptian alchemy, black magic, sun god worship. So any of y'all that's still getting choked out because you knew that this was trash and then you tried to run it to the arm, this is what he's trying to get y'all to do. Leave one imposter fold and join another imposter fold, and you ignorantly not know I'm devolving. There's no such thing as evolution. It's called transfiguration, where you ascend. There's only devolution. I'll tie a millstone around your neck and throw you in the depths of the sea. That's devolution. There's no evolution. There is no upward mobility anywhere in any of these philosophies. All you could do is end up in the depths of the sea. But what we offer is transformation and transfiguration. He transfigured before their eyes and ascended. And Paul said, now we are the sons of God. We don't know what it's going to look like. He said, but we know we shall be like him. We going to transfigure. We going to transfigure. That ain't had nothing to do with Seventh-day Adventists. That ain't got nothing to do with Christians. Paul said, we will transfigure. So whatever abuse they did to y'all, where they was choking you out, listen, he like, first of all, they sending us to do therapy. 4 years. We're going to rebuild marriages. We're going to rebuild homes. 4 years. We getting closer together. We going to party. Finally, you going to party. Press down, shaking it together wealth. We not separating. We not none of that. They variants and they stories, they don't exist. They exist if you give it power. If a voodoo witch put a spell on you, it only works if you in their circles give credence and power and authority to the spirits that they playing with. You can only give them permission to violate you. There's no difference with this. You can only give them permission to violate you mentally, and your body is going to respond. And then when you compound it by adding their spirits, understand the vaccine is a spirit. Beer, wine, and spirit. Anything that you put in that they have made is a spirit. So you're compounding legions of unclean spirits with every new pill that they tell you to ingest. He said, guard the avenues of the soul. Did he not? Your mouth, he said, you are what you eat. So if you're eating their spirits, if you're letting them inject, what's the difference between their vaccine and heroin? What's the difference? What's the difference between the same people who make heroin make the vaccine? They're alchemists. The black magic. Yo, what's the difference of shooting cocaine and this vaccine? They drug dealers. You just let them tell you because they're associated with the Center for Disease Control of the World Health. They are just branded. So the difference between y'all going out there and smoking crack and y'all taking this vaccination, the only difference is a marketing campaign. The same niggas that's running dope from Mexico into the United States of America, they the same ones who made your vaccine. The same dope dealers of the Mexican mafia, they the same niggas behind Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Moderna, same niggas. The only thing that separates them is a marketing strat, is a street in New York, Madison and Vine. The only difference in people. My wife won't even drink or smoke. But their marketing campaign is so thorough that a woman won't drink or smoke will entertain. Yo, people getting the vaccine, they not dying when they get the COVID. Oh, yo, if they got a marketing strategy, they gonna sell. Listen, nigga, I'm not gonna sell you. I've been selling clothes for forever. I want you to keep coming back. If I want you to buy what I'm selling you, I'm gonna give you top notch out the door, right? If they publicly telling everybody you gotta take this, you think they're gonna allow the bad batches? You think they're gonna allow the bad batches to be circulated amongst the people? But you better believe that they got a time frame and a schedule for when the bad batches, when the re-up, just like your heroin addicts. The same niggas that's selling, they selling a poison that's so. Listen, our people in America had got adjusted to heroin and cocaine. They can't believe that these people have developed an immunity to heroin and cocaine. Now the Mexicans, so now the Roman Catholic Church, Mexico is the Roman Catholic Church. So now Pope Francis is selling from China and Mexico. Now the Roman Catholic Church is selling to y'all, right there on the border, a drug that's killing these niggas instantaneously. And they signing up to get it. Why? Because the heroin is just keeping them from getting sick. They're not getting high no more. The same niggas that run the drugs of the world, they just changed the name. They make them in the same factories. They make the dope that they put in your streets in the same factories where y'all getting your vaccine from. Pope Francis and Fauci, listen, that's the Roman Catholic Church. Listen, the Treaty of Tordesillas. The Spanish been selling drugs from Spain to all over the world and bringing it back from Africa back up to Spain. Spain is the #1 dope dealer in the world right now, the Roman Catholic Church. Right now. South of Spain is the #1 dope dealer. Straight up through Morocco, straight up through Africa, back into Europe. Spain is the #1 dope dealer, dope hub. How did they get the drugs to West Africa from the Caribbean? So Haiti, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba, all of these niggas that's pushing communism, they pay is in the underworld. They got our people in third world poverty. All of the niggas is Roman Catholics pushing socialism and communism. They're Roman Catholics. They got their whole economy, third world poverty, but they getting money off the drug trade because the Europeans get their dope from the Caribbean. So the Caribbean, all of the niggas in the Caribbean, from France, from Britain, from the United States, they got the gangs in your third world countries who smuggle and run the drugs. So 97% of the economy is third world poverty, living under $5 a day. And you got drug lords that are Roman Catholic and practice witchcraft and voodoo. Then you got the people who run the country. It's 3%. It's 3%. It's 1.5 in the top who run the politics, and it's 1.5 in the bottom that run the underworld. And then all of y'all clowns in the middle. You don't get no benefit from the top, from the government. You don't get no benefit from the bottom. And the only way that you could defeat these niggas is by renewing your covenant faithfully with God, who will overthrow them. And then y'all go into their churches that they control, and you worship with them niggas, and so you stay enslaved to them. And then they keep running the politics, and in Haiti, they acting like, yo, we acting like we got a political system. They don't even act like they got it no more. But our people in Haiti, they keep doing the voodoo, and they keep doing the Roman Catholic worship. So you're not getting nothing else from France. That's what France is. France is the capital of satanic worship. That's what France is. The French have always worshipped Satan openly. The headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church and the Egyptian mystery religion, where Julius Caesar took Cleopatra, was from Egypt to France. The Temple of Isis was in France, but then when they became Catholics, they changed it to Notre Dame. That's the Temple of Isis. Huh? Huh? You want to know why Haiti is a cesspool? Because 97% of the people keep worshiping the white magic of Catholicism and the black magic of voodoo. And so they can control the 97% in the middle, and then the bottom feeders, the drug lords, that the politicians cannot stay in position without the 1.5% on the bottom. So they cut them in. They get to masquerade as heads of states, and both of these niggas don't have no problem taking the Judas 30 pieces of silver and letting young niggas suffer. And then y'all reward them by following their politics, following their churches, following their witchcraft, when God gave you a covenant. Okay. And all over the world, it's the same way. Ain't no island that's different. Ain't no country that's different. The US is the same way. England is the same way. Russia, China. And the Pope is the Antichrist and the puppeteer and the puppet master that takes a cut from all of these people. If you chop off the Roman Catholic connection through Great Britain and the Queen of England, and you shut down all of their businesses, listen, they don't got no trade agreements. Listen, how do you shut down their businesses? By you resurrecting your own business on the land that you live in. You own the land. A criminal can't own the land. A criminal can't put a state capital in your lands and then tell you who can buy it, who can't. No, they just want you to go along with that so that they can keep their 1.5% in at the top, taking your lands and your resources. If 97% of y'all let that happen, I'm telling y'all, in the United States of America, the 97% here is led by the sons and daughters of God. And the top 1.5% in D.C. and all around the country, governors and mayors and all of them, they getting the hell up out of here. And the bottom feeders, the 1.5, in all our hoods and all our communities, they're getting the hell up out of here too. And of the 97%, only 70%. We building an ark for only 70% of the world. 30% of the world is going to be left out and gonna have to pay for the dirt of the 1.5 at the top and the 1.5 at the bottom. And it's your job to be first in line, to consecrate yourself and get in this ark.